Regular meeting of the Madison County Board of Commissioners held today, Monday, August 19th, 8:30 a.m. We're meeting at the Jackson-Madison County Health Department, 804 North Parkway. Commissioner Wall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we have our internal auditor, Madison County Internal Auditor Mike Perry, who's going to deliver the invocation and the pledge for us. We'd all stand together.
Let's bow. Gracious God, we thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you for each one here. We pray, Lord, you bless our children, our grandchildren. Keep our country safe, Lord, and out of war. We ask that we love you more, and we love each other. In Christ's name we do pray.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Twenty present, 5 absent. Without objection, we'll enter the minutes by unanimous consent. Announcements from the chair. Want to let everybody know that Sarah's office has moved back to the finance department. So she will no longer be at the Parkway office. You can kind of explain to them where you're at if they need you.
In between the finance department and the elections, so I'm right in the middle. I'll have a sign up over it, so hopefully soon.
Second thing is, everybody remember, we're gonna be meeting here, until further notice, so we just need to continue to show up here at any and all meetings until we either get at 310 North Parkway or we go back out to the Ag Center. Commissioner Black, would you like to share this yourself, if you'd like to?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to invite all the commissioners and all the departments this Saturday at the East Jackson Church of Christ, starting at 10 o'clock. We're going to be honoring all of our first responders. We're going to have a program where we recognize them, and also we'll have food for everyone and fun. Bring your kids, bring some of your family members. We just want to, after the pandemic, everybody praised them, and then we go back to normal operation. But I think we need to continue to remind everyone the great work that they do. So our congregation is putting a program together to honor all of our first responders. So we'd love to see all of you there if possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Black. I think this is a great thing, and if you've been watching the news lately, it seems like we've had accident after major accident, and these people are the front line of saving lives. And I think that helicopter for West Tennessee Healthcare has been out more than we care to think about lately. Announcements from the county mayor. Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a couple things I want to cover. Number one, welcome parents back to school, and kids as well. Definitely the change of pace. Welcome everybody back. I think it's gone well so far. My kids are just thrilled being back to school. That's sarcastic. Also, last Friday, we were able to have a celebration for Middle Fort Bottoms, or last week rather. Middle Fort Bottoms was announced as a state park. Governor Lee puts a little over $20 million in his budget to make some things happen out there. So if you haven't been in Middle Fort Bottoms in Three-Way, go see it. That's well within Madison County. It's a beautiful park, and it's going to continue to get more beautiful as trees mature, as the welcoming center and bathroom complexes are built. Maybe we'll have a county commission meeting out there someday. I don't know. But it's a beautiful space. Go check it out. There's over 5 miles of walking trail, 100% ADA accessible. I'm very, very proud of that park, and it's a show place for North Madison County. Also, in case you didn't hear, McKellar-Sipes had a big announcement last week. Denver Air is coming to Madison County. It's coming to McKellar-Sipes. That's jet service out of Jackson. And I think we should all be very, very excited about that. There's been lots of announcements for new airlines at our airport, and they've all been kind of the same. They've been prop planes. They've been serviced to St. Louis or Destin or to Atlanta. The reason this is different, this is jet service. This is a 50-passenger commercial jet that will take off from McKellar-Sipes and land in Atlanta, and most likely, can't officially announce yet, but most likely flying to Chicago as well. You get on that plane here in Jackson, you're going to go through TSA right here in Jackson. So the worst you're going to be is 50th in line. These are 50-passenger jets. So I don't know of any other airline you can fly that you're number 50 on TSA check-in. So that's a big deal. As a secure passenger, you can fly from here literally worldwide. You can connect in Atlanta through United, American Airlines, or Delta, and fly to South Korea, to Japan, to wherever you want to go from Jackson, Tennessee, and you're a secure passenger here in Jackson. The flights are going to run about $250 round trip. That's fees and everything included. And it'll get you in Atlanta or Chicago in a little over an hour. So it really does connect Jackson, Tennessee to the rest of the world. And here's the thing I'm most excited about. Right now, our airline carrier flies about half the time. So if you set an appointment with our current provider, 50% chance you're not going to make that flight. 50% chance that you're not going to make your connecting flight. Denver Air, when we said they were 97% takeoff, they got upset at us because they're actually been 100%, I think, for nearly 6 months now. So they take off when they're supposed to, they land when they're supposed to, and you're able to make your connecting flight. So this is the next step of making our airport something legitimate, and it's going to put us on the map in West Tennessee. I've had several West Tennessee leadership reach out to me and tell me how excited they are to be able to fly to drive to Jackson and park, within walking distance right at the terminal and fly out of here rather than driving to Memphis or Nashville. So it's a big deal. Obviously, our corporate partners are very excited about it. So that's a big thing you need to know about. So if you have any questions, Steve's here with the Airport Authority. We'll be able to answer any specific questions for you. And then I do want to give a thank you and a shout out to Sheriff Weiser, Chief Corley, and Mayor Conger on the response to the Windy City McClellan Road intersection. Had a pretty nasty wreck. There's 2 wrecks this weekend on Ashford and Windy City. So number one, people need to follow the law. That's number one. Slow down, stop when you're supposed to stop. But there's been some action taken out there, and it's very quick and swift action to make sure that our city and our county residents are safe as we can be out there. The reality is nothing we can do to make people stop, except for a roundabout. And I know nobody's excited about those. So besides something, a physical barrier to stop traffic, stop lights, stop signs, don't physically stop cars, people have to follow the law. We're going to do what we need to do on our end to make sure people know those are coming up. And I do just want to say publicly, I appreciate the response from our city and our county to take action in that space. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Need to go back to number 3. I forgot. Are there any public comments today? All right. Update on the Forked-Deer River floodplain and waterway restoration project.
Sorry, we had invited Ranger Tim Poole from Pensacola Mountain State Park. Did you have that down?
I did not, but we will go ahead and take that
Tim
right
Poole
now.
here. Evidently, we didn't invite him.
We did. We did. He never got back to me.
Okay.
Why he's not on it.
All right.
We'll try to reach out to him, have him
All
next month. But we have Mr. David Blackwood here from West Tennessee River Basin Authority to give us an update. Come on up.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, thank you, Mayor Massey, for the good update on the Middle Fork Bottoms State Park. That's the same thing that this is titled over. But the purpose of this update is to begin the project, to do the phase 1, we got a federal grant that allowed us to do the earthwork and put the trails in and get the project going. That federal grant has concluded, so we have to publicly tell you about that and let you know that there is a 2-week window if you have any comments or information you need to share regarding that public federal grant, that you can do so. And I'd like to offer our notice for inclusion in your notes that has contact information and it'll be in y'all's minutes. But I believe everything went well, so well it's become a state park now, right? build a visitor center and all the restrooms, and, you know, all I know now is let's do it again, let's build another one. 'Cause that one is fantastic. If you haven't been out there and see it, please go check it out. And, unless there's any questions, that's my update.
Anybody have anything? Commissioner Walker?
Mr. Chairman, this is in District 9, and I wanted to just, I think I'd be remiss not to say that we certainly appreciate the work of the West Tennessee River Basin Authority and David Blackwood and his staff. His staff is here, and I think we owe them a big round of applause for what all they do. I've been a part of this since pretty much the beginning. They called me in, and matter of fact, it started with Mayor Harris when he had called me in to be a part of this, and it's just amazing just to be kind of on the sidelines to watch the work that they all have been able to do. I mean, it's just, it's like clockwork every single time they were able to get together with what they call the Friends of Middle Fort Bottoms, which did a lot of work as well. So we just really appreciate all that you and your staff have been able to do to bring that to Madison County for sure.
Commissioner Black?
I'd like to echo what he said. We work closely with them, with the recreation parks in the city, with some ditch controls and through our parks, and we appreciate you. Can you give us kind of an update on the trail from downtown to Bemis? I know you were involved, you all were involved in that.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so we have designs on the trailheads on either end, one behind the Bemis Historical Society, the pink building in Bemis. That'll be a trailhead on the south end, and then on the north end, it'll be just south of the farmer's market. And they're working through some easement things in the middle, and then we're gonna build a bridge over the South Fork Deer River. And we expect that construction to be early 2026.
Thank you.
Anyone have anything else? Thank you, sir. Oh, sorry.
Quick point of order. Do we need a motion to include his information in the minutes, or because he's on the agenda, it should be okay?
It's on the agenda, so I think it's fine. Just go ahead and put those in the minutes.
Nobody has anything else? Thank you so much for all your hard work.
Oh, I did have one thing, I wanted to let everybody know, we have to pass a sign-in sheet around the back, so, my public attendees back here, that's what that sheet is coming your way.
Reports from county officials standing in special committees, any old business, action thereof by the board. Yes, sir, Commissioner Alexander.
Mr. Chairman, Property Committee met last Wednesday and approved the park lease for the Savannah Williamson Park. As you know, we've got 2 parks in our system that are not ours that we lease, and this is one of them. Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a 25-year lease, correct?
That's correct. It's the same as what we've got with Godwin Park on Christmasville Road. It's a 25-year lease. It'll go through 2049. And the county will continue to operate the park. The county will be responsible for insuring the park. And
That is a committee recommendation.
It's committee recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes.
Mr. Chairman, Highway Department met this past week or month, and a few things were going on at the time. We did talk about a couple of speed limit changes, but we're gonna have that on September's agenda. And also, the committee recommended that we, because of the new announcement of the jet service, we talked about a parking lot up in the airport, put in a new parking lot. And we do have, it was a committee recommendation that we allow the highway department to work with him on that. So we do need to get that passed, I believe, this morning.
We have a committee recommendation to allow the highway department to work with the airport authority on a new parking lot. I have just one question. Now, the city would be responsible for their portion of it, or?
That was discussed.
It just depends on who pays for it. If the airport pays for it outright, then no.
Okay.
We could approach the city and ask for them to come in half. Essentially, it's all city county money, but there's potential that there's money in the airport budget to pay for it. That hasn't been committed, but we hadn't gotten there yet. We had to pass a motion to allow our highway department to begin that negotiation with the airport.
Sure. Commissioner Ellison?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to know why the speed limit signs are not presented presented today. All this was here,
My
I'm gonna say,
understanding, excuse me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
all this was, we addressed all this in our meeting.
Yeah, we received an email from Mr. Bush about that we need to put that on the September agenda to give people in that community time to review what we've done. And so he just recommended that we do it in September instead of this month.
Why is that a time?
Under the rules for the commission, resolutions are required to go on the agenda. So I suggested, when asked, that the resolutions be placed on the September agenda since the 10-day window for adding new items to the agenda had already passed. And that way, the residents that are in the area where the speed limits are being changed will be able to then comment if necessary and be aware that the commission is voting on it. So that was the reason that I suggested that. Obviously, the commission also has the ability to suspend the rules and take up any matter that they wish, but for transparency purposes and to comply with the rules, I recommend putting them on the September agenda.
Well, the reason I said the people are the one who requested that. You know, if we can do the airport on this agenda, I don't understand why that can't be done.
Well, again, this is simply a recommendation authorizing the highway department to perform work. There's not been any funding that is being approved by the commission, so there's not a requirement under the rules for that to be on the agenda. It doesn't require a resolution for the commission to approve or authorize the highway department to perform that work.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
Let's vote on the highway department, and then I'll recognize you to make your motion, okay? All those in favor of allowing the highway department to work with the airport on the parking lot, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Commissioner Ellison, would you like to
Yes,
make?
sir. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on the speed limits of those roads.
Have a motion to suspend the rules on the speed limit. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Black?
Mr. Chairman, could we have an explanation of what it encompasses? A new speed limit, putting up speed limits to change what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. This is why we're waiting till September, to give people enough time to, in each district, know what we have done and what we recommended. And it just gives us a little more time to make sure if there's any public comment or anything. I believe that's why we're doing this.
Right.
But we, after the studies came in, we decided to go ahead and recommend it. But just like Mr. Bush mentioned, we're just giving constituents a little more time.
Let's vote to suspend the rules, and then once we suspend the rules, if it is approved, then we'll have Commissioner Hall go over the changes. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I still have not gotten a question, I'm getting an answer. What are we voting on? I keep hearing it. So we want to create speed limit, change speed limit, what's being considered?
We're voting on the suspension of the rules to possibly
No, I'm talking about
consider.
in order to suspend the rules. I need to know what I'm suspending the rules for.
Okay. Commissioner Hall, do you want to cover that
Yeah,
now?
we had completed 2 studies in 2 different districts. The traffic surveys, 2 traffic surveys, one on Upton Mill Road, per request of Mr. Ellison there were nothing posted there as far as speed limits. And also on Christmasville Road, I recommended that we bring that speed limit down from 55 to 45 miles per hour from the 3200 block all the way out to Gibson County line. So those were the 2 recommendations, just to slow the traffic down. And again, Mr. Ellison, per his request, because of the housing out there, the children playing, that's what we did.
Bart?
That's correct. Commissioner Hall's right. Commissioner Ellison requested a speed limit study be done on Upton Mill Road between Maple Springs Road and Bowman Road. And so we sent that to the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department got that study done Commissioner Hall also asked that a speed limit be looked at on Christmasville Road because there is some fluctuations of speed limit on Christmasville, and so we sent that to the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department got that study done as well. We received those studies mid-August, well after the deadline to have things on the agenda for this month's meeting. The commission rules require that anything that is, any resolutions that are voted on in a commission meeting be on the agenda. So since we weren't able to, we didn't get those reports until mid-August, there was no way for us to get those items on the agenda in August. So the committee met, we voted on them, and then they'll be on, the thought was that they would be on the September agenda. That's all. If the commission wants to suspend the rules and go ahead and vote on these now, I could talk in a little more detail about it if you would like, and then y'all can vote on it. But we were just simply trying to follow the existing commission rules of having resolutions put on the agenda and when the public notice is sent out, that's all.
Question.
Anything else? All right, we're voting to suspend the rules whether to take up the speed limits this month. Roll call. All right, I think we got 21 votes. Okay. There we go, 22 votes. 3 absent. 11 yes, 11 no. Motion fails. The speed limits will be taken up and put on the agenda in September, and be one more month. Any other reports from county officials, standing committees? I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
I'll report real quick on Juvenile Justice Center. Approved the funding to get a commercial appraisal done on the properties back there, so that's in process. As soon as I get that back, I'll set a follow-up meeting with the committee to determine next steps.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir. Could we get an update on the progress on for the new juvenile court building? Public asked me, I saw on the news that we're looking at buying some property.
That's what he's talking about.
That's what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
that's.
Oh, you said juvenile justice, that's right.
Well, Juvenile Justice Center, it's not just the court building, it's actually gonna be juvenile detention, juvenile courts, as well as some other juvenile services in that building. But, no, we've identified some property that, is mostly available, still negotiating with some property owners and trying to get in touch with them. The first step, I believe in that, and the committee agreed, was to order an appraisal to figure out the price that we would like to offer to these property owners and make it fair on both sides. Once that property price is determined, then we'll get together and talk about what we'd like to offer and see what properties we can acquire and then take steps from there. So that's where we are.
Any amendments, transfers to the general fund, school department, capital projects, highway department, debt service, juvenile court service budgets for the fiscal year 24-25? Commissioner Alexander.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Okay, starting off with the ones for fund balance. County buildings, $22,000, adding 1 part-time person.
This is committee recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. I'm sorry.
Was there time to ask questions?
Yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can I just have a better understanding of why we're amending the budget in August? Not that the 20,000 is a big number, but I'm just worried the precedent it sets to amend the budget in the first month.
Hunter, you want to speak on that? Sure.
So, the way our department works, and we're a very small department that take care of a whole lot of buildings. I
said in the last meeting, I'm a working supervisor, I'm up working sometimes, half the time. I found myself in a situation after the first passing of the budget last year, so it would have been too late to bring this in at that point, to where I had to terminate someone, and I also lost someone that went to work somewhere else. I had 2 people to take care of all of our county buildings. That's an untaskable event. Luckily enough, we were able to make it through. I was able to hunt someone down because we didn't get applications. Nobody really, I wouldn't say nobody, but they're not jumping the gun to want to do this work. I have to seek these people. I was luckily enough able to bring in a part-timer. At that point, my mind was solely wrapped around nothing but getting those positions filled so that we could survive and do a good job for you all. I'm trying to be a good steward of your money and take care of your buildings. I can do this however you all want to. I realized after I got that position filled with a part-timer that if I had a part-timer all the time, I wouldn't be in this position again. I want to mention that we do a lot of work for elections. I do not want people to get hung up on the fact that this is all about elections. This did happen to happen right at election time, and we saved the county tons of money by not outsourcing our delivering, our pickup, our planning, our pre-running, our logistics of our elections. When we do run our elections, every maintenance employee is involved in that process. I have no one to answer the service calls in the county when they happen during elections. So that's why I didn't ask for it in the last budget. I didn't realize until after the first reading of it, and it was passed, it was too late, it was clear that nothing else was to be brought in. I'm trying to do this properly instead of later on, after I hire somebody and keep this part-timer, and me coming back in March, April, and say, hey, I ran out of money. And someone to say, who gave you the authority to hire people and promise them pay and keep people knowing you didn't have it in your budget? That's where I'm thinking.
Commissioner Deaton.
That came before the Budget Committee. I think it was a very legitimate request. It probably was an untimely thing, and he recognized that fact, but in his budget, he had a full-time employee that he cannot find. He found the part-time he did need, and it was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that employee had worked for you before and retired and come back, so he's very well qualified. And the Election Commission, that's critical for them. It may not be about elections, but they need that help, so they don't have to outsource it. So it's very important. I think it's a very legitimate request. I think we need to approve it.
Roll call. Vote is open. Mr. Johnson? Vote is closed. 19-3. Passes. Commissioner Alexander?
Next one's, Highway Department, $5,759,640. This is a carry forward on their TCEC ARP grant.
It's committee recommendation, no second required. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes.
This next one is miscellaneous. It's coming out of capital fund balance. This is the $3,000 assessment cost for acquiring property for the new juvenile justice complex. This was the issue that the mayor was talking about just a minute ago.
Committee recommendation, no second required. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes.
I don't have a pass on that.
Okay.
Primarily because of the fact that other than today, I hadn't heard nothing about that committee and about the site in months. So with that information, I don't just close that.
Sure. Show Commissioner Brown as a pass.
Next is under transfers, election, $5,176. It's a transfer between salary line items.
It's a committee recommendation, no second required. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
The next four are all grants under the sheriff's department, $66,206.
Commissioner Nehoff.
Make a motion to take the next four in one vote.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
First one's $66,206. This is a budget carrying forward for the BGA Collaborative Crisis Grant. $102,184, CIT Crisis Intervention Grant. $9,475, BCIF Crime Intervention Grant. $40,000 setting up new Tennessee law enforcement hiring, training, and recruiting grant. As it states on the board, none of these affect maintenance of effort.
It's committee recommendation, no second required. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Next three are state mandated reserves. Circuit Court, $40,000, budgeting data reserve funds for annual expenditures.
It's committee recommendation, no second required. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Next one's under clerk and master, $35,000, budgeting data reserve funds for MD system and new computers.
It's committee recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Last one's county clerk, $84,086.39, budgeting reserve funds for title clerk position and other expenses.
It's committee recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I have one more, but we're going to have to suspend the rules for that one.
Okay.
That's the one pertaining to the 310 North Parkway.
Go ahead and explain it, and then we'll talk about it.
$2 million school system, 310 North Parkway property acquisition. It's already been approved by this body in the form of an MOU, which got to move the money.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Have a first and second to suspend the rules. Roll call. Vote is open. Votes closed. 21-1. Rules are suspended. Take up the motion for the $2 million.
School system, $2 million. Motion is that we move set the $2 million into the school system's funds for 310 North Parkway for property acquisition of the Parkway facility.
Committee roll call. Votes open. Votes closed. 21-1 passes, and all this is going to do, we're not committing those, we're just matching up to what the school system's budget is.
Mr. Chairman, that completes the budget committee report.
Okay.
Just a quick point of order, Mr. Chairman. I think Mr. Arnold's vote, his tabular is awesome. I think they're setting that right now.
Okay.
I think that is the official term for that device, right? Voter tabular. Voting remote. What are we calling those things?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
My granddaddy would call it a clicker.
Clicker. There you go.
It is made in China.
All right, appointment of 4 members to the Ethics Committee by CLB, 1-year term. Jamie Elliott, Curtis Howard, Tracy Snyder, Michael Ashley, incumbents. They've all agreed to serve on that again.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to reappoint.
All four members.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations. Appointment of 3 members to the Public Record Commission by CLB, one-year term, Jay Bush, Jack Wood, incumbent, and who was the vacant seat? Do we have anybody for that?
Yeah, we do.
Yes. Paulette Fairchild will go into this seat.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Jay Bush, Jack Wood, and then appoint Paulette Fairchild.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Appointment of 3 members to the Ethics Committee by the county mayor with the CLB approval, one-year term.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to reappoint Mark, Kensey, Eden Smith, and Andrew Long.
All right.
Make a motion to accept mayor's recommendation.
Second.
Have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Appointment of 1 member to the Madison County Airport Authority with CLB approval, 5-year term for a vacant seat. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we nominate Josh in favor.
Second.
Have a first and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations. Possible approval of resolution expressing support for expansion of water and wastewater utility infrastructure in western Madison County. Commissioner Tippett.
Mr. Chairman, with careful thought this weekend and hearing from a lot of constituents in District 7, I know that this says it's expressing support, a resolution expressing support. I would ask that we table this till next month to give me time and Commissioner Ellison time to have a town hall and see about the feelings of all the constituents. And I'll make a motion that.
I'm sorry.
All right, Commissioner Tippett has a motion.
I second, yes.
And we have a second by Commissioner Ellison to table this until next month. All those in favor say, I'm sorry.
This is a real opportunity, and if this is the will of the body to table this until next month, I can get on board with it. But our duty as commissioners is to be not just watchdogs over budgets and the implementation process, but also casting a vision that goes 20 and 30 years out for our community. And I think this is a really good thing, but I support Commissioner Tippett's comments as far as needing to have a good understanding from the community that they aren't living in fear with unknowns, right? We need to give them the facts, and I think JA has been really supportive of our request. We approached JA and not the other way around, so there's a lot of misinformation out there that I'm hearing about forced easements and domain where we're taking land from people. I don't think anyone on this body wants that to happen, and so this would be a plan that puts we set forth a plan that would go years out. And you're right, this would be a resolution just to show support towards the research and development and funding of the entire project. And so I can get on board with tabling it because Commissioner Tippett is wanting to take an active stance in his community, give him time to do that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's tabled until next month. Commissioner Tippett, Ellison, anything that y'all need, just let us know and we'll come out and try to help.
Mr. Chairman, my main concern is the constituents hearing from county mayor, city mayor, planning department, and chamber.
Sure.
And we just want to have a town hall and them to explain it. I don't think people are against running water and wastewater out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're against being annexed into the city.
Correct.
That's the main concern. It's not, they don't want the water or wastewater out there.
Right.
It's more of a being annexed.
We can understand that. Mr. Mayor?
I agree completely. Mr. Tippett and I talked quite a bit. I had a few conversations this weekend. Never has the word annexation been brought up. And I would correct you, this is a county issue. Our city mayor doesn't need to be involved in this, so we can handle this ourselves. And it will be, obviously, Jackson Energy Authority is gonna be laying the infrastructure potentially, so they'll need to be at the table, but this is up to this body to decide.
Commissioner Tippett, I'm sorry.
One more thing, we do have constituents here, if y'all need to hear from any of them.
Matter been tabled.
Well, it's tabled now, so I think what we'll do is, they'll have the opportunity to speak at the town halls, and they'll have the opportunity to come back next month if and we decide to take this up, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Fair enough? Commissioner Black?
I think that's a fair assessment, Commissioner Tippett, for them to listen to the constituents. Just for information purposes, you can't annex a community unless it wants to be annexed. That's the state law now, so you can't have forced annexations anymore.
We've had the attorney looking at it, and I think we can quell all these fears real easily in a meeting, but we need to have it. You're exactly right, so.
Yes.
All right, that'll be tabled till next month. Possible approval of utility easement for Jackson Energy Authority at Airport Industrial Park. Commissioner Alexander.
Property committee recommendation.
It's committee recommendation for the easement approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Possible approval of resolution authorizing a contract with the state of Tennessee for management and maintenance of Yarborough Farms tract at Jackson-Salem Cemetery for the purposes of creating a Salem Cemetery Historic Park.
Property committee recommendation.
It's committee recommendation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Possible approval of resolution approving a contract with A2I for GPS monitoring system of domestic violence offenders when the court ordered as required under Tennessee Code annotated 40-11-152. Commissioner Alexander.
No cost to the county, budget committee recommendation.
Any discussions on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Possible approval of resolution approving of contract with Civics Plus for software for Madison County Building Department. Commissioner Alexander.
This is already using approved money from his budget that was approved, and this also was a budget committee recommendation to approve the contract.
It's committee recommendation to approve the contract. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Review of the Madison County various departments' year and annual reports.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion we approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second. Have a first and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I need a motion to approve the notaries.
So moved. Second.
Have a first and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any and all matters related to and connected with matters set forth in items 1 through 18.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to speak on the accidents happening lately and specifically in my district. And I'd like the body to take a moment of silence for the young people who lost their lives this past month. Thank you.
It's been a tragic week, and that's what makes this function that Commissioner Black's church is putting on very important. And of course, this is my busy time of the year, so I can't be there, but I would encourage anyone who can show up Saturday from 10 to 2 at East Jackson Church of Christ, because we don't understand how important these first responders are until we need them.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Well, our meetings have to be so short.
You wanna go back to 3 hours?
Well, it becomes a little boring if, you know.
You can stay here, Commissioner.
Yeah. Hey, I had an old referee of mine tell me the faster you run the game, the less they notice the mistakes, so you get in and out. Is there any other matters related to and connected set forth?
Second.
Have a first and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.